Most of us love to unwind and travel, and presidents are no exception to that because their duties and responsibilities include traveling. Well, today we're introducing the most secure and highly anticipated travel series on YouTube. Don't miss out on this exclusive look at the world of presidential travel. Subscribe now and join us on this exciting journey. Let's get started. The travel is not just for leisure but also includes diplomatic relations. Presidential travel plays a vital role in fostering and maintaining diplomatic relations with other nations. Face-to-face meetings and interactions with foreign leaders help build personal connections, establish trust, and facilitate open dialogue on critical issues. Through diplomatic visits, presidents can strengthen alliances, negotiate treaties, and address global challenges collaboratively. Symbolic representation is another reason for the trip. The president serves as a symbolic figurehead and representative of the nation. By traveling abroad, they project the values, interests, and aspirations of the country. Presidential visits showcase a commitment to international cooperation, reinforce partnerships, and demonstrate the importance of diplomatic engagement in a globalized world. The US president's travels on the international stage position him as a global leader. By attending summits, conferences, and international forums, the president can shape global agendas, influence policy discussions, and champion issues such as human rights, climate change, and global health. Presidential engagement on a global scale showcases the nation's commitment to addressing global challenges and assume a leadership role in shaping the future. On diplomatic trips and international summits, the president can address security concerns, share intelligence, and coordinate efforts with foreign counterparts to combat terrorism, prevent the proliferation of weapons, and address regional conflicts. Additionally, by engaging directly with the military personnel and intelligence agencies during visits to military installations or intelligence centers, the president can gather critical information and make informed decisions related to national defense. The history of presidential travel dates back to the earliest days of the American presidency. In the early years, presidential travel typically meant riding in a carriage pulled by horses, which were a key element of pre-industrial life. Many presidents attend horse races, and some even brought their wartime mounts with them to the White House. Stables were a feature of the White House grounds, with horses on standby for the president's use. As technology advanced, presidential travel evolved as well. The first president to travel by train was Abraham Lincoln, who used the railroad to travel his inauguration in 1861. In the 20th century, air travel became the preferred mode of transportation for presidents. The first president to fly in an airplane was Franklin D. Roosevelt, who flew in a meeting with Winston Churchill during World War II. Since then, presidential travel has become more frequent and sophisticated, with the president traveling to countries all over the world to meet with foreign leaders and attend international events. Today, presidential travel is an essential part of the job, allowing the president to engage with the world and represent the United States on the global stage. We're now going to proceed with the entourage, who accompanies the president on trips. When the president of the United States embarks on trips, both domestic and international, he is accompanied by a team of individuals who ensure his safety, provide support, and assist with various aspects of the visit. The U.S. Secret Service plays a critical role in protecting the president. They provide close protection, threat assessment, and overall security during presidential travel. The Secret Service coordinates with local law enforcement agencies and foreign counterparts to ensure the safety of the president and their delegation. The team of the White House staff members often accompany them on trips. This includes the Chief of Staff, Press Secretary, Communications Team, Policy Advisors, and other aides who assist with logistics, communications, and coordination of meetings and events. They provide administrative support to help execute the President's agenda during the trip. National Security Advisors and members of the National Security Council may accompany the President on trips that have significant foreign policy or national security implications. They provide expertise and advance on diplomatic matters, intelligence briefings, and strategic decision-making. In some cases, military personnel, including military aides and members of the White House military force, accompany the president. They provide protocol support, handle communications, and assist with ceremonial duties during official visits or military-related trips. It also includes a medical team, typically consisting of doctors, nurses, and emergency medical technicians that accompanies the president to ensure their health and well-being. This team is prepared to handle medical emergencies and provides immediate medical assistance if required. We're going to proceed, but first, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and visit our channel for more luxury content like this. Up next is transportation. The first is Air Force One, the official call sign for any aircraft carrying the President of the United States. This is commonly associated with two highly customized Boeing 747-200B series aircraft, designated VC-25A in the Air Force inventory. These aircraft are equipped with advanced communication systems, defensive measures, and secure facilities to accommodate the President, their staff, and the accompanying delegations during international and long-distance travel. There is also a Marine One, another call sign for the helicopter that transports the President. It is usually a Sikorsky VH-3D or VH-60N helicopter, operated by Marine Helicopter Squadron 1 HMX-1 of the U.S. Marine Corps. Marine One is used for short-distance travel, particularly between the White House and nearby locations such as Andrews Air Force Base, Camp David, or other secure locations. The President often travels by motorcade for ground transportation, both domestically and internationally. The motorcade typically consists of a convoy of heavily armored vehicles, including the Presidential State Car, commonly referred to as the Beast, Secret Service vehicles, communication vans, and support vehicles. These vehicles are designed to provide the highest level of security for the President during ground travel. Besides Air Force One, the President has access to a fleet of military and government aircraft for specific purposes. This includes other Air Force aircraft, such as smaller jets or cargo planes, for travel to locations that cannot accommodate the larger VC-25A. In some cases, the President may opt to travel on commercial flights for shorter domestic trips, or when logistical demands or security considerations do not necessitate the use of dedicated presidential aircraft. Commercial flights allow for greater flexibility and reduced disruption to regular air traffic. The next thing we're going to talk about is the destinations. Take a look at some of the most memorable presidential trips. The history of US presidential travel is replete with memorable trips that have had a significant impact and garnered attention. There are 5 examples of some of the most notable and memorable US presidential trips. The first is Richard Nixon's 1972 visit to China. President Nixon's visit to China marks a historic moment in international relations. It was the first time a US president had visited the People's Republic of China since its establishment. The trip opened a new era of diplomatic relations between the two countries and played a pivotal role in reshaping global politics. The second is the Ronald Reagan speech at the Berlin Wall in 1987. President Reagan's visit to Berlin and his speech at the Brandenburg Gate demanding Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall became an iconic moment in history. The trip and the speech were symbolic of Reagan's strong stance against the Soviet Union and his commitment to the freedom and the reunification of Germany. The third is Barack Obama's visit to Cuba in 2016. Mr. Obama's trip marked a historic shift in the US-Cuba relations. It was the first visit by a sitting US president in nearly 90 years. The trip aimed to normalize diplomatic ties, promote economic engagement, and foster cultural exchange between two nations. The fourth is John F. Kennedy's visit to West Berlin in 1964. President Kennedy's visit to West Berlin during the height of the Cold War is remembered for his famous Ich bin Berliner speech. The trip was a show of solidarity with the West Berliners and a strong message of support against the Soviet Union's attempts to isolate and control the city. Lastly is Franklin D. Roosevelt's Atlantic Conference in 1941. His trip to Newfoundland, Canada to meet with British Prime Minister Winston Churchill resulted in the Atlantic Charter. The charter laid out the principles of the post-World War II world and served as the foundation for the establishments of the United Nations. Well, that's a wrap for what US presidents have for their travels. If you learned something, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. This is Luxify.